Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel. And today we are in the southern country of Africa, which is actually Zimbabwe, in a city called Masvingo. So here we're actually going to explore the Great Zimbabwe Monuments, or the Great Zimbabwe Ruins, whichever way you want to call them. Masvingo essentially is actually a Shona name, or which actually means a building of stones, essentially a wall in this case. So Masvingo was actually founded by the pioneer column in 1890 under the name Fort Victoria. By then the first idea was actually to make Fort Victoria the capital city of Zimbabwe, but this idea was later on abandoned and the capital city title was taken by the current city, which is Harare. Now let's get on the bike and jump on and actually get to go to the ruins or the monuments area and actually get to explore and see what has been going down there, what is there, what's in store, and what's waiting for us to explore and see. Let's go. So here I actually wanted a drink. I realized that I was supposed to grab a drink at the hotel, but I forgot, and then I pulled over here at this roadside market. Then I just had to grab a Coke, and I found a whole lot of a vibe kind of people here. You know, they were actually very, very happy on hearing the sound of a motorbike. And as always, everywhere I have been. Baba inekwe, Baba inekwe, Baba inekwe, Baba. So at this point there was a little bit of a detour. The road is actually being reconstructed, so they just have this piece here which is not really complete at the moment, so one really needs to be very, very, very careful. As you can see, there's some stones here, loose concrete stones. You can actually tip over if you are not that careful. Yeah, so I passed over that hurdle and then all the way, this is the Bait Bridge Highway, and then you just have to turn left just a few kilometers after Masvingo. As you can see here, I think that's just about 3 kilometers. Then you turn left and you head all the way to the Great Zimbabwe Monuments. Also passed through a roadblock here which kind of looked informal, but they didn't stop me or ask anything or say anything much.
There are some super nice views there. This area looks all bushy and natural in its state. This is the Great Zimbabwe Hotel. You can see a lot of African stuff being sold there and a lot of tourists there. Looks like there are a number of tourists today everywhere. But anyway, let's proceed to the ruins.
So yeah, as I proceeded, this is the Great Zimbabwe Hotel where I just arrived here. As you can see, there's a lot of heritage stuff on sale, and I actually got a chance to snap myself some cool footages using my drone, of which what happened next, you're definitely not gonna like it. Let's just wait and see here. Ooh la la, voila voila. Damn. So I was snapping myself a footage here using a DJI Air 3 drone, using the autopilot feature which comes with this drone. The feature was actually doing very, very cool. As you could see there, it was dodging a bit of trees and a number of objects. It was doing very fine. But there was just this one little tiny branch which actually didn't make it through the sensors of the gadget, and then as a result the drone actually crashed. It was unfortunate. I actually had to make a U-turn. I realized that I saw a off to a local township. Then I realized that, okay, I think let me just go there and try to figure out if I can find anything to get my drone sorted up. In my mind I was thinking that, okay, maybe I can find a technician who can actually be able to assist with opening it up and probably restore the rear right side leg, which was broken. So in this case I was thinking, if I find a technician, he might actually be able to assist me and remove it probably and put it back, or probably find some glue and then try to stick it back together. So I navigated my way, and I didn't even know where I was going in this case. I didn't even know the place. This was my first time going through here, but I was just following the signs and just following the road. And when I went a bit off-road here, I was worried, and then okay, but I saw a signpost which was saying some name. I forgot the name of this place. And then I kept on going. I found a bit of hope when I saw the cars here and a bit of shops now on my left side, and said, yay. I actually had to turn and get into the kind of the shopping center, which literally looks like a growth point. So when I got here, I said, okay, so which direction should I take? I saw this shop from a distance that looked like it could actually have what I wanted. Then I turned and parked my bike here and then took some steps into the store to literally ask or check if they do have anything that I can use to stick back my drone or to get it sorted by some technician of some sort. Luckily, I found this gentleman inside his shop, and he looks like he had actually what I wanted. Then I went back to take the drone and came back. Now when I'm back, I showed the guy, or which actually the shopkeeper and the shop owner at the same time, what happened, the ordeal that I faced with my drone. I showed him there is the leg. It's actually the left rear leg, which actually got broken. In this case, I think the only thing that could work, obviously he couldn't have the space for the drone, the only thing which could work was actually try to stick it back using some form of a strong glue. And in this case, the shop owner actually had super glue, so we tried to stick it with the super glue here and see if it can actually be able to be strong for me to be able to fly, because I said I can't go back without actually doing what I want to do here with the drone. So after some time, we tried and see that, well, the leg is not strong enough. I can't fly the drone like that. At least it's going to break amidst air and it's going to crash again. Then the shop owner or the shopkeeper said, well, don't worry, I have another plan here. He had actually this other solution which is called the Q-bond. It's actually a solution which you mix with some chemicals and it forms something very, very strong, and that's what he actually advised that we do. So on top of the super glue, we actually had to paste this Q-bond and try to make it dry and see how strong it's gonna be. After some minutes, I was actually pleased with the results. It was actually looking quite firm and strong, and then I didn't even take much time, but I paid for the service and left for my journey. Also, I was outside, I even took a bit of a check and to make sure that really it's in place. So as you can see here, the leg couldn't fold back, so it was always stretching out just like that. I was happy with what we've done. Then I actually went on my bike and checked out of the shopping center and proceeded with my journey to the Great Zimbabwe monuments. Let's go.
A little bit okay with time, not too bad.
After some time, I managed to arrive at the turn-off to the Great Zimbabwe monuments. Indicated right and slid into the monuments, and I was actually starting to have a feeling of excitement here, as I could feel that I'm now getting into the jungle and actually pretty much going to witness or see what I actually wanted to see. It it looked all bushy, thick and green, but surprisingly I could come across some students here. I wonder where they were coming from or where they were going. Are there homesteads here? Are there schools and stuff? I was actually worried. But at the end of the day, after some few minutes, I later on realized that I'm actually on the premises of the Great Zimbabwe Ruins. So when you arrive here, you'll find this little hut inside. This is pretty much the administration room. So when you arrive here, you actually have to check out of a vehicle, obviously, and get into the administration room and get to pay what they call the access fee. I think at this moment it was 15 bucks. What this money goes towards to, I'm not pretty much sure. Probably it goes towards the maintenance and well keeping of this place here, or probably the payment of the servants or the labor force here, but I doubt much because that's supposed to actually come from the national coffers and the national finance budgetary thereof. So the lady didn't have change here. She had actually to write my change at the back of the slip so that when I come back I can actually get my change. I was done with the administration, and then I went on my bike and then went down further to now get access to the Great Zimbabwe Ruins and the monuments thereof. So let's go. So one thing you notice when you arrive here, so after this point there is no more point where you can go with any kind of a vehicle. So every kind of a vehicle would actually have to park here and go through another checkpoint just to for them to verify that you have paid the administration fee, and this last gatekeeping stuff here will actually let you pass through into the monuments. So I've done all that, and then came to these lovely staff members here whom I greeted, and we did exchange of information, and then later on they told me where to go. So on my first point of entry there was this museum, and then I said, okay, let me just go through here and actually get to see what is in the museum and what is it that I can get to learn, or probably even to show you guys out there. I got into the museum. Unfortunately, there was no one by the reception, so I couldn't ask any kind of a question or actually get to be informed of what's in here and what's not there, what happens there, where to go, where to watch what. So I just had my own guided museum tour, where I went through here. As you can see, there's pottery, there's some statue, there's some writings, and the museum looks to be really well built with some nice stones here, which actually symbolizes the Great Zimbabwe Ruins here in. So yeah, I just moved around. So pretty much the museum to me makes more sense to the primary and probably the secondary school students. There's nothing much for adults here, as you can actually see that most of these things they have everything to do with the scholarly education and general knowledge thereof. As you can see, these banners here, I think they pretty much have information about what used to happen in the past, the African history, who was who, what kind of probably animals, the kind of living and setups. Anyway, I finished touring the museum, and then now we're going to the big event, to the main space that we actually had to tour here. So this is actually the entrance to the Great Zimbabwe monuments. The monuments are actually on top of that very mountain, as you can see right there. So we're gonna take a walk all the way and then get on top of that mountain. Then we now have to explore the little parts, the points of interest on top of the mountain where the ancestors of the Zimbabwean trade were actually staying and what they were doing. Okay, so now let's proceed all the way up the mountain. This is the entrance to the mountain view. So yeah, this is it. We're going steps up, and so as I was saying, these people
This used to be the Dubai of back then. History says it that this place was constructed in the 14th century or somewhere there, 15th century, around there. Not sure if I'm on the right side here to get all the way up there, but it's fine. Let's go. Not sure if my camera is taking some cool footages here. I'm not trusting it, man. It's showing some bloody stuff. I just need to activate my GoPro. See, so but then it took almost about 300 years. So they were just keeping on upgrading it here and there, slowly but surely, and it took entirely about 300 years. Yo, I'm already breathing on top of my lungs. They're constructing this place using pure stones. No mortar, just stone on top of another, until they came up with this mighty city of theirs, where they were actually conducting some business, trading with the Europeans. Okay, this is where we're coming from. That's the back there. All those kind of things. So they're just keeping on upgrading it. They're constructing this place with pure stones. No mortar. That's stone on top of another. It was a very, very big city. This one. Yo. Yeah. I'm getting tired already. So these guys were very, very clever. You know, they couldn't build their empire or their palace on a ground where it can be easily attacked by the enemy. You know, so they sited somewhere which is strategically positioned for both safety from the enemy and also for them to be able to spot the enemy from a distance. That's where I am now. Yo, there are some huts there. This place is very big, people. It's very huge. Anyway, let's proceed. Let's see how far I will go. Yeah, I lied to myself for coming so late. This place needs one to come very, very early. This is where I came from.
As you can see, it's quite a bit distance. You need to be really fit and strong for you to get to climb over this mountain.
They packed my bike down there. Again, this is where we're going. All the way up. As you can see, these are stacked stones there. No mortar. Pure stones. Stone on top of another. There's no cement, there's no nothing. Huh? Isn't this majestic? We're talking of something which has been done in the 1500s. That is to say about what? Now we're in the 21st century. And this thing was constructed in the 14th century. So we're talking about 1700, no, 1400 to 2100. Not 2000, yeah. That is about 600 years. Someone placed this here. That's amazing. Yo, the road is getting narrower and narrower. Sure. Okay, let's keep going. See how far we'll go. These are the up top wall there. See if we can try to get there. A passage. Even if you throw a rocket of any sort, it won't even penetrate over here. It won't. Sure. Flip.
When I got to this point, I met a group of other tourists who were actually exploring this area with this tour guide lady here, and we went through a very narrow pathway here. As you can see, this pathway is actually between stones and has been naturally placed. Rather, these stones were not placed by anyone, but these people back then, they actually took advantage and make a stepway through the big stones all the way to the top of the mountain where the main palace probably was. And finally, I am on top of the mountain. This is exciting, very amazing at the same time. I mean, who builds a palace on top of a mountain? Where were they getting these stones? How were they doing it? How did they bring them over on top of the mountain? We're talking of something that happened some 400 years ago, before there were cranes here, especially in Africa, before there were any machinery. This was pure manual labor. I mean, I'm out of words, honestly. I can't explain this kind of work which they were doing here. It's all amazing. It actually comes back to teach us that, like, working together, unity and collaborating together, you will actually make everyone achieve greater and better things. This is on top of a mountain, people. On top of a wall mountain, and has been standing like this for pretty much 400 years and counting, without any reinforcement bars, without cement, without any engineering done here from the book. Amazing.
How's it, boss? Oh, good. Oh, amazing.
We are on top of the mountain. This is where we are at the climax. As you can see, there are still some buildings around, rather some erections, some walls built around here. So these people are actually mastering the direction of walls pretty much. I don't think there was any roof on top here, so they actually just wanted a protection of wall. And these walls were very thick, you know. So this art, I think it comes along with probably the Kawan formation or something like that, whereby the chief or the king will actually be strategically placed in a position or in a place where they can easily spot the enemy, and the enemy will actually find it very difficult to reach out to the palace or to the hideout. As you can see in this case, no one can literally get on top of this mountain like easily, just like that.
The hut. I'm sure the king used to stay here or live here. What's sitting here? Let's see. All in being on walls is prohibited. Climbing on walls. Boy, I'm so exhausted. I can't even read properly. Climbing on walls is prohibited. Okay. I'm not going to attempt that. I'm going to do that. Okay. Amazing. Let's go through this narrow thing. Okay, this is where we came from, and this is where we are now. Oh boy, look at that stonework. I wonder how many these people were. Taking all this together should have surely 300 years is justified. This should have been a lot of work putting all this together. It's like a double, triple, quadruple wall or something. Not any amount of rocket back then could penetrate here. Okay, this is the dead end. So I think I should actually go back there and get in through here. We have a little gazebo.
So this looks like now this is the playing ground. Probably that's where a lot of things were happening back then. I can literally imagine probably as a palace where the chief was actually staying and probably getting to do their traditional leadership, formulating rules and regulations, you know, taking those who have broken the communal rules to a trial courts and stuff like that. I can only assume here. And yeah, of course, it was actually well constructed and well protected with the walls
from the attacks. So yeah, these people are very clever. I mean, natural stones stacked on top of one another. Let's go to this little narrow hole and see if we can sneak through here. Passage, the corridor.
So if you like, you can literally call this an abandoned ancient city. Back then, I can actually relate it probably to the current Dubai of the time, because here, like the local people here, that's where they were actually doing trade with the European, the Chinese, and some bit of the Americas when they were coming here to trade gold and some other minerals. So it was happening right here at these monuments. It was really a very big complex, as you're gonna see on the next part here, where I'm gonna take you through to the complex where other trades and activities were actually happening at the end of the next part of this series.
Literally less than 1 meter straight through here. Definitely not. Okay, let's go this side and see what's there. Right, so this is literally just another viewpoint. Let's see this tower here, which looks like they will be. Okay, this looks like it was reconstructed recently. I think they were hoping it to keep intact. There's another massive wall. That massive there on the camera, it might look thin, but physically, when I look at it, that wall should be around 1.2 or 1.3 meters thickness. No amount of wind can do anything on it.
So this is it, people, for now. We'll actually catch up again on the next piece, which is actually gonna be part 2 of 3. So see you in the next video.
Chicken, 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 chicken.